Good afternoon, everybody.
I don't know why I was going to say good morning.
It is not morning, it's 3:30, my darling.
Yeah.
No.
Hello.
And welcome to BB True Crime. We're back.
We are.
Second episode of the day.
I'm Beth.
I'm Becky. And I'm also hydrated, because that was a lot of talking last episode.
Yeah, we just did the recording of the Princess Diana episode.
Indeed.
So that will come out for you in maybe 2.5 weeks, because we still have the special episode to upload for you guys yet. So that'll be with you in probably the next week.
There's time.
But yeah.
So keep an eye out, like you always do.
We are back for episode 42, which is the Orlando Pulse Club shooting.
We needed to change your pace after the last one.
Yeah, we try and do something a bit different every episode, so that we don't have two next to each other that are, the same.
Well, nobody wants copy-paste.
Yeah.
And you know what they say?
Yeah,
crime is only really about sex, money, and jealousy.
True, but I feel like 3 serial killers all in a row is
honestly,
it can be a bit much sometimes, especially if they're quite heavy cases.
And I feel like shootings, the last one we had was that school one, and that was a little while ago.
That was, I don't know if it was Columbine.
That was it.
Columbine?
Yeah.
That was a heavy episode.
Honestly.
Yeah, damn.
I needed Jesus after that one.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're here with a club shooting.
Okay.
So
a gay club shooting.
A gay club shooting. I believe this
hate
happened
crime.
in 2017. Actually, that's up for debate.
Oh.
Just because it's a LGBT nightclub might just be incident. It might just be coincidence. But we'll get into that. So, a fun night out at an LGBT nightclub soon turns deadly, leaving the world stunned. Why was the Pulse nightclub and its patrons targeted that night? Let's investigate.
Let's find out.
So, the incident.
Oh. Very official.
Get fucking straight in.
Let's do
That's
it.
what we say.
Get the fuck on with it.
So, my bad earlier, I said it was 2017. It was 2016. Close enough. June 11th, 2016. Pulse, a gay nightclub in Orlando, Florida. It was hosting a Latin night.
Nice. I like a bit of Latin.
Which was actually, because of the area and the people in the area, it was actually a weekly Saturday night event.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Which obviously meant that it drew in, because of the area, mostly a Latino crowd.
Nice.
RuPaul's Drag Race contestant and drag queen Kenya Michaels actually was performing there that night.
Damn.
And had left not long before the shooting started.
Shit.
Yeah, so
imagine being her. Imagine being that queen and getting back to your hotel room and being like, oh yeah, by the way, the nightclub you just sang at shot up.
She did have a lot of friends there who did not make it.
Bruh.
Yeah. And she also might not have made it had she had stayed longer.
Honestly, yeah.
So yeah, that's wow.
Jesus.
Rough. Yeah. About 320 people were in the club.
That place was packed.
But it was coming around closing time soon. So it was doing its last call drinks and his last performance.
People were filtering out now.
Yeah. So it was around 2 a.m. So around the same time, the culprit, Omar Mateen, arrived at the club in a rental van, and he parked in the parking lot of the neighbouring car shop. He got out, walked towards the building, and he was armed with a rifle and a Glock pistol.
Okay.
So at 2:02 a.m., he went into the club and he bypassed this officer called Adam Gruler, who was a uniformed off-duty Orlando police officer.
Okay. We got a cop in the building?
Yeah, he was working as a security guard.
Okay.
For the club. And that was through the southern entrance. And it was immediately he just started shooting people.
Oh!
Just instant, as soon as he got in.
I mean, why fuck around, honestly? If you're there to shoot up a club,
yeah.
You're not going to stop for a beer first, are you?
But dozens of people were killed and severely injured inside the crowded nightclub, because obviously you're shooting into a crowd, limited places to run, there's bodies everywhere.
People are panicking.
And running in any direction.
Jesus.
And they were either killed directly or by things like ricocheting bullets, that kind of thing.
Not to mention trample injuries.
Yeah.
When people panic,
horrible.
people turn into fucking animals.
They do. Ruler, who was the
off-duty cop.
Yeah. Immediately heard and took cover and called in for assistance.
Yeah.
But he did say that he only had a little tiny handgun compared to the guy with his rifle.
Yeah, and a Glock.
He knew he was very much not prepared for a shoot off with this guy.
What do they call it? Oh yeah, pea shooters.
But he witnessed Mateen shooting 2 patrons who were attempting to escape through an emergency exit. He did end up firing shots at him, and they did have a little standoff thing.
Yeah. Probably only to draw the attention off the civilians, really, I imagine.
In response, Mateen withdrew back further into the nightclub so that this police officer guy couldn't keep shooting at him. And he just continued shooting victims as he went through.
This is a massacre, it's not a shooting.
Sometimes he would just fire into the bodies that were already on the floor just to make sure they were dead, as well. Additional officers...
So not necessary.
I know. Additional officers arrived at the nightclub literally minutes afterwards, so it was very quick response time. I
imagine if you hear the words shooting in packed nightclub, it's going to get a rapid response.
It was the officer that obviously first got assistance down. So the officers joined Gruler, who was still trying to engage Mateen in a little shoot-off. And because more officers had arrived, obviously with more guns, and he was one man, the shooter again retreated back into the nightclub, but this time started a hostage sort of situation.
So this guy's fucking looking to get out as well. Not only is he shooting all these people up, he's also trying to get out of the place alive.
But he's also trying to, make this incident longer, if that makes sense.
Prolong it by taking hostages and making them talk to him.
Yeah.
I knew what you meant.
Thank you, yeah, that was the word I was looking for.
Okay.
So, yeah, he did this hostage situation in one of the bathrooms in the club. In less than 5 minutes, Mateen, who was the perpetrator, had fired approximately 200 rounds. Some of the people that were in the club thought these sounds were anything from firecrackers to part of the music, before obviously seeing the chaos.
And the bodies.
Yes, and the bodies. So, there was another guy who was working as a bouncer at the club, who was a retired veteran, called Imran Yusuf. He instantly recognised the sound of gunfire.
Yeah, it's one of those things you're not liable to forget.
And he managed to, while Omar was distracted, he managed to pry open one of the emergency doors and managed to save a bunch of people that were hiding. And he saved about 70 people.
Shit.
So, obviously, the loud music and the darkness of the club was still just ongoing, so that was adding more to the panic and confusion happening with all the people in there.
Yeah.
One person shielded herself by hiding inside a bathroom and covering herself with the bodies.
We saw that in Columbine as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
People hiding underneath bodies.
Yeah, it tends to be a thing in mass shootings. We saw it in... Was it the preschool that got shot up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, the other wasn't it Columbine? There was a group of friends.
There was people that didn't.
But there was the one kid, wasn't there?
Yeah,
the one kid who survived
in
under
the closet.
Yeah,
with all the class had hid in the closet, and he shot through the closet, and she'd hid under the bodies of her friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, but I imagine when you're in that situation, it's to do whatever you've got to do situation, isn't it? You're not too. These people are already dead. With all the respect in the world, these people are already dead.
Try and fight for survival.
Yeah.
A bartender took cover behind the glass bar. Don't know if you want seen it was a glass bar, but alright.
Hey, glass doesn't mean it was see-through, you know this.
Yeah, I was going to be like, oh, depends the colour of the glass, I suppose.
Also, people tend to put, like, the sticker covers on the front, don't they? Like, like a wrap.
I don't know what this looked like, so I don't know. At least one patron tried to help those who were hit, but a lot of people who tried to do that then also got hit. According to a man trapped inside of a bathroom with 15 other patrons, Mateen fired 16 times into that bathroom through the closed door and killed at least 2 and wounded several others.
Hiding in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And that was through the closed door. He didn't go into that bathroom. But obviously he did take some hostages into a different bathroom. Shortly after entering the women's restroom, Mateen's rifle jammed.
Praise Jesus for that.
And then he discarded that and switched to the Glock. 2 survivors quoted Mateen saying, "I don't have a problem with black people."
Oh.
Sounds like something a racist would say. You know, when people are like, "I'm not racist,"
but
like, yeah, I don't have a problem with black people, but yeah, that's like, it gives me that vibe.
It's like when somebody turned around to me and was like, "Oh, I don't have a problem with black people, but my God, do they irritate me sometimes?" And I was like, "Eh?"
Yeah, I was like, "Ah, sorry," like, they sound like 2 weird. All right, okay, sure.
I was just like, how does that sentence
like
make sense in your head?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with you, but you piss me off all the time. Sounds like I have a problem with you.
Another survivor from the bathroom also said that he had said that he wouldn't stop his assault until America stopped bombing his country. So immediately, it's a terrorist thing. So
I don't know whether I feel like it's more like a race thing. Like,
I think overall it was classed as a terrorist.
Was it classed as a terrorist attack?
From everything he said, it does sound like that, yeah.
Till you stop bombing my country? Okay.
Other survivors heard Mateen claim he had explosives as well as snipers stationed around the club. No explosives were found though.
Snipers?
All snipers.
Snipers?
So, for the next 45 minutes, he obviously was in this bathroom with the hostages. Over 100 police officers from the OPD and the Orange County Sheriff's Office were dispatched to the scene. Obviously there was fire engines and ambulances
EMTs
also
and stuff, yeah.
there as well. So, 2:09 a.m. Wild that this has only happened within about 6-7
minutes, yeah.
Yeah, wild. After the gunfire began, the club posted on their Facebook page that everyone get out of pulse and keep running.
But that's...
Also, Facebook had that thing where you could check in if you were safe or not.
Yeah.
And that was one of the first instances that thing had been used on Facebook.
That was quite cool. But it is interesting that, you know, you've got music, you've got the whole club vibe going on. The one thing people are checking is social media.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially at the end of the night.
You don't want more people coming, do you?
And especially at the end of the night, when things are winding down and people are checking their phones to go and message people and socialise, you know, that check-in with the social media probably saved a lot of lives.
Yeah, and probably soothed a lot of families, but also not a lot. So at 2:22 a.m, Mateen actually called 911 himself, during that phone call he'd mentioned the Boston Marathon bombers. I don't know if you know about that case, so it might be one we have to get into at some other point.
I think it's one we have to get into.
Okay. I'm just gonna...
But wasn't that a terrorist attack as well?
It was, yes. Yeah. I believe so.
Okay.
Boston Marathon. Sorry, I'm just adding that to our...
just doing a quick add-on here.
Yes. So, but yeah, he called the Boston Marathon bombers his homeboys.
My homeboy is the Boston Marathon bombers.
And made reference to an American student who died in Syria from a suicide bombing.
Okay.
He made 2 more 911 calls throughout the shooting and the general
45
incident.
minutes hostage taking.
And there was a lot of calls also to 911 from everyone else
Yeah.
going through this whole incident as well. After the initial rounds of gunfire between Mateen and Gruler, the off-license cop, 6 officers shot out a large glass window and followed the sound of shooting to the bathroom area, so they followed him to the bathroom. Mateen stuck his head out of one of the bathrooms, and at least 2 officers shot at him. Don't know if any hit.
I mean, given it was his head that was getting stuck out, I'm going to go on a pun here and say it probably wasn't, unfortunately.
No. After the gunfire stopped, they were ordered to hold their position instead of storming the bathroom, probably because of the hostages.
Sure.
According to one of the officers. After about 15 to 20 more minutes, the SWAT arrived, but did not immediately go forth.
You've got a plan with SWAT.
When asked why the SWAT and officers didn't proceed to the bathroom and engage Mateen, the police chief, John Mina, said it was because Mateen went from an active shooter to a barricaded gunman with hostages.
Yeah, which is a very different, plan of approach, because when you've got an active shooter, they're more likely to be in the open, their attention's going to be more divided between the victims and the police. You've got more opportunities, but a barricaded, especially in such a small environment, and an environment with a lot of obstacles, because you've got toilets and doors and sinks and mirrors, and especially in clubs, they tend to have big fucking mirrors.
Yeah.
Because they want you to feel like the space is bigger than it actually is. So, strategically thinking...
From the sound of it, it wasn't a very big bathroom either.
Yeah.
So.
And strategically thinking, they're very different from what I know of, like SWAT plans and breaching materials and stuff. That's 2 very different plans.
Yeah.
And hostages in an enclosed space with a shooter whose attention is focused solely on them.
And already killed a lot of people.
Exactly. You've got to approach things differently if you have any hope, because not only are they trying to get that guy out, they're also trying to keep the people in there safe as well. Whereas when you've got an active shooter, eliminating the shooter is the primary objective, but now the primary objective is getting everybody out safely. That takes brains to figure out how to do.
Yeah.
And it's a slower process than just going in and popping the guy in the head.
You're going to get people disagreeing either way, so...
For sure, but logically speaking, it makes sense that they waited. Nobody... I'm at this point, as far as I'm aware, he hasn't shot anybody that he's held hostage.
Not yet.
Yeah. Not yet. Here we go. But at this point, there is a belief that everybody in that bathroom can make it out alive.
Yeah.
So, preserving that is the best thing you can do, surely.
Yeah. Well, the last shot by Mateen was fired between 2:10 and 2:18 a.m. So, the rescues of the people trapped inside the nightclub and other areas obviously was commencing while the hostage sort of situation was going on. And continued throughout the night. Because so many people were laying on the dance floor, one rescuing officer had to say, if you're still alive, put your hand in the air.
Jeez.
So he knew,
who to evacuate and who was dead.
Yeah. At 2:45 a.m., Mateen actually called the news channel, News 13, and said, I am the shooter, it's me, I am the shooter. He then said that he was carrying out the shooting on behalf of ISIS and began speaking rapidly in Arabic. That was to the news.
Okay, well, definitely terrorist motivated then, isn't it?
So the police hostage negotiators spoke with Mateen by telephone 3 times between 2:48 and 3:27 a.m. He claimed during one of these calls that he had bombs, obviously again, he said that earlier. He apparently said he had bombs strapped to his body. No, he didn't.
Okay.
He also claimed that he had a vehicle in the parking lot with enough explosives to take out city blocks, which I don't think was also true. At 4:21 a.m., 8 of the hostages managed to escape the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
After the police had removed an air conditioning unit from an exterior wall. At approximately 4:29 a.m., Mateen told negotiators that he planned to strap explosive vests, like the ones used in the November 2015 Paris attacks, to 4 of the hostages, and place them in different corners of the building and detonate them within 15 minutes if the officers... This was when officers decided to end the negotiations and prepare to forcibly get in that bathroom.
That's so valid. Yeah.
But they were wanting to blow up their way to get in that wall. Around 2:30, going a bit back in time, Mateen's wife got a call from her mother around 2 a.m. asking where her husband was. So then that's when his wife sent a message to him, asking where he was.
Up a club. Excuse me.
Yeah, and then he texted back asking if she'd seen the news. She said no. He said, "I love you, babe." And she apparently texted him back saying that she loved him, but he didn't reply anymore.
Okay.
She also tried to call him several times during the standoff, but to no answer.
Damn.
During the siege, Mateen had also made internet searches on his phone while shooting. The police had dispatched a little... I don't know why I assume it's little, I just do. It kind of comes across as a little cute. They had dispatched a little robot to discreetly enter the bathroom to allow them to communicate with the hostages by two-way radio. That's why I'm imagining a little cute tiny robot just making its way into a little bathroom.
Oh my god.
Before the breach, Mateen entered, obviously, a woman's bathroom where the hostages were hiding, and he opened fire, including killing a man who sacrificed his life to save the woman behind him, and at least one other person.
Damn.
At 5:07 a.m., so a bit more forward in time, the police did try and put an explosive on the bathroom wall to try and get in, but it failed. So they just drove an armoured vehicle through it.
Incredible.
They got in. They got in, guys.
What, do you remember me?
What if someone was near that wall?
Do you remember me talking about careful strategies and plans?
Go big, go home, guys.
And their solutions are explosives and ramming it with an armoured vehicle. Okay.
How do you not know if the hostages are near that wall? Second, maybe the little robot.
I was going to say the robot radio. Robot radio.
But it's like, yeah, I did have a little chuckle when I wrote that, because I was just like, wow, they really went from bombs to just, fuck it, drive through it. Just
drive through the fucking wall.
But it worked, so fine. They then used 2 flashbangs to distract Mateen, and shot at him. The breach then drew him out into the hallway, and at 5:14 a.m. he engaged with the officers that were in the hallway, the SWAT team. He was shot 8 times and killed in the shootout.
Okay.
And the resulting shootout actually involved 11 officers who fired about 150 bullets for one guy.
And only 8 of them hit?
Yeah, first of all, maybe get some more shooting training. Get yourself to the gun range. Second of all, 11 officers, 150 rounds, 1 man, 8 bullets hit.
Bruh.
Not great maths.
Where's the discipline
Third
there?
of all, it's 1 man.
Honestly.
Damn, a bit of an overkill.
With a Glock. He doesn't even have a rifle anymore. He's got a Glock.
Wow. I guess it
not
worked.
to mention, they thought that he had explosive straps onto him.
Yeah, no, true. He just didn't, though. Just didn't. So, 49 people died in the incident, including Mateen. Another 58 were injured. 53 were injured by gunfire. 5 from other causes. Some survivors were obviously very critically injured. Of all the 38 victims to die at the scene, 20 died on the stage area and the dance floor. 9 of them died in the northern bathroom, 4 of them in the southern bathroom, 3 on the stage, 1 on the front lobby, and 1 on the patio. At least 5 of the dead, the ones that died in other ways, were not killed during the initial gunfire by him. but during the hostage situation in the bathroom. So it was actually America's deadliest single-person mass shooting until another case that we'll have to do at some point. LA shooting incident in 2017. That's why I thought 2017. Oh, okay. And that incident.
A year later.
Yeah, that incident was insane because there was basically, just quick summary for people that don't know. A lot of people died that day. I can't remember what the number was, but it was insane. There was a concert going on in LA, and this guy had booked a room really high up in one of the hotels nearby, and he had, I don't know if it was a sniper, but he had some really like high automatic gun that like shot loads of bullets at once,
like a Gatling gun.
Yeah, kind of thing.
Jesus.
And he had that, and because he was like such a regular at this hotel, he like took like, they didn't find it weird when he was taking like bags and bags and bags of shit constantly to and from like the hotel. And he'd basically like, there was like no one else on his floor for some reason. Don't know why. But yeah, and then he opened fire at the people.
Just mowed people down.
Yeah, at this concert. And
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was mental. But the thing is, no one knew where it was coming from. All the witnesses, it sounded like it was coming from different places. So
echoes in an arena.
His location was only found because also people had been calling saying it was at different locations. So police had gone to other locations. The only reason he got found is because the security guard had I can't remember if he'd seen something dodgy or something, but he'd gone up to that floor, he'd seen something weird, but the guy had placed cameras all down the hallway to know if he was going to get seen or not. And he'd seen the guy and the security guy in the camera shot at him, and he'd survive, and that's when he called it in, and he was like, there is something really weird, this guy was shooting with a gun up here, and that is the only reason he got found. Bro. But they
spoilers for that episode, Jesus!
Yeah, I know. I'll make sure it's a while till we do it, but there was no motive. Nothing. He was just a normal guy. Yeah, insane.
I would like to reassure you that
mental.
Though I use guns, I do not have any inclination to go and shoot anybody.
Wow, I'm so glad. No. You've heard that first on BB True Crime.
I just want to reassure everybody. I at least know that I know Beth doesn't because she would rather
no one have guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's very anti-gun.
But yeah, so until that incident that happened next year, that was the deadliest single person mass shooting.
Damn.
However, it was the deadliest incident of violence against LGBT people in the history of the United States.
Boy. And that's saying something because the USA is not a particularly peaceful nation.
Yeah, and that was surpassing the 1973 upstairs lounge arson attack, which I've not actually heard of, so I can't really tell you much about that.
Add it to the list.
And actually it was called this incident was called the deadliest terror attack in the US since September 11 attacks.
Damn.
So...
It fucking sounds like it, to be honest.
Yeah. So, a bit about the gunman. He was identified as 29-year-old Omar Mateen, an American-born. So, just keep that in mind, because of all the shit he said.
Yeah. I thought he would have been...
bombing my people in, like, Syria, but it's like, you're American-born, cool. He was born in New York, Hyde Park.
Okay.
His parents were Afghans, and he was raised Muslim. There was a few red flags, but not enough that people were, like, too concerned, I guess. His ex...
Problematic guy, but nobody suspected him of shooting up a gay club.
Yeah, his ex-wife had a lot to say, but at the same time, I don't know how trustworthy an ex-partner will be, because, you know, they might just be saying things, you know. But he often joked about bringing guns to school. Don't know why. First red flag.
Honestly, that's more than a red flag.
He did fail to get into law enforcement. It doesn't say why, though.
Probably a psych eval.
But he did try several different types of law enforcement and didn't get into them. He threatened to shoot someone one time I don't know if it was at a barbecue or something, but because they had had his hamburger touch pork, and he was like, well, I guess you need to die. So, fair enough.
That is haram, but
it is,
so is murder.
But he had no criminal record of any kind, no other major red flags, except for his ex-wife is about to say. So his ex-wife claimed that he was quite mentally unstable and mentally ill. Apparently, allegedly, physically abusive, and had a history of using steroids.
Okay.
A bit more than he should.
Any steroid use is not great.
His autopsy did show that as factual.
Okay.
But
steroid use is legit.
Yeah, but he didn't have any, he had no alcohol or drugs in his system besides from, steroids.
To be fair, all she claimed was the steroids.
Not yet.
Oh.
So his dad had commented before when he was spoken to about his son, saying that he'd seen that his son had been really angry one time when he saw two men kissing in public, not long before the attack. However, that was the only reference to anything anti-LGBT. But back to his ex-wife. His ex-wife also said, though, because a lot of people questioned, is he gay? Is that why he did it? And it's like...
repression.
His dad was like, no, he wasn't gay. He just didn't really like him very much. But his dad was the only one to say that, though. His ex-wife said that his dad would call him gay in front of people a lot. And that his ex-wife's family all thought he might be gay. But, like I said, the police did really thorough evidence. They searched his phone, everything, his history. Nothing says anywhere that he was gay. There was nothing like that. Even hidden, nothing.
But at the same time, if you...
So, can't confirm or deny.
...are homophobic and gay...
Yeah, but both of those things are from people that are, really biased. So both of those can't be confirmed.
No.
Because there was no actual evidence anywhere that he did it for, a hate crime.
Oh, no, for sure. But there's no evidence that says not.
Yeah, so it's very mixed. Many places after the attack re-examined their security and their protocols and things.
Praise Jesus for that, honestly.
Yeah. There was then increased security at LGBT events and venues. ISIS did take responsibility, obviously. Don't matter if it was them or not.
Yeah. They claimed it.
Yeah, he just said it was, and boom, they're like, yeah, no, we definitely like that. Cool.
To be fair, it's entirely possible that ISIS was involved.
But it's also could just be him saying it was, and then them like, yeah, no, sure. That was to do with us, even though we had no idea who this man was. Yeah, but we'll take it. It's a hate crime, it's a terrorist act. Yeah, sure. Many people lined up to donate blood for, victims and survivors and that kind of thing. However, obviously, there was a bit of an issue because a lot of them people were LGBT, and gay men specifically cannot donate blood. Yes. For fair reasons, I have to say. Yeah, it would be good if more people could.
They've actually changed the law now in America. Gay men can donate blood as long as they have proof that they're HIV clear and they haven't been sexually active in 2 years.
Chances of that, though, a bit slim.
True, but
the second part, not the first part.
But if you are a gay man, and let's say you're like me, you're asexual, unless you're in a relationship, going 2 years without sex is not difficult.
That's pretty. I won't be able to do that.
Bro, I'm at 5.5.
If I'm not with anyone, because obviously in between relationships it'll be a few years before I get with someone. I don't jump from relationship to relationship. No. But I still need a little company in that time, for the odd night, you know what I mean? Yeah. I have needs, Becky.
I know.
But we don't need to talk about those needs.
I respect that, honey. I respect that. I'm just saying, I don't.
This is not the episode to be talking about our needs, alright? Okay.
Gay club shooting that turned into both sexual needs.
The audience never know what they're gonna get, alright? Okay, because last episode it was cousin fuckers. This episode is, what are our needs? okay?
No, not our. I don't have any, just yours.
Well, exactly, but they're still needs. They're just not there.
No.
So...
A need is a physical requirement. I have no physical requirements.
We need to stop. I was gonna... No, let's not.
Please stop right
there.
We don't know all the people personally on this podcast. Woo! Stop.
They know too much about
it. Continue.
They really do. Good God.
Do sincerely apologise. Daddy Dave listens to this!
Maybe not all the episodes. I hope. Don't tag him in this one, okay?
And Moving on.
So the survivors would not be billed for their stays in hospitals. When I read that, I was like, I fucking hope not.
Bro, you'd be amazed what the Americans will bill people for. If you had a heart attack on the street, they'd save your life and slap you with a bill.
Yeah. Now you owe us $1,000 because you're alive.
$1,000?
I don't know how much it fucking is. It's stupid, isn't it?
Bro, do you know how much it is to have a child in hospital? Like 25 grand.
I know, that's why people try and do it naturally, and like water baths and shit.
At home as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But anyway, yeah. So not only would survivors not be billed by the hospitals, great, thanks. Victims were offered free plots and free funeral services. Again, a little bit. I hope so. But I'm surprised that doesn't happen in more things.
No.
But I guess,
that's
where
very
would
rare.
the business be, I suppose. But still really bad.
Bro, your kid gets hit by a car and you get billed for the coffin.
Yeah, that shit's expensive. I'm so glad I don't have many family members, or at least know many of my family members that have passed.
Oh my god. Bro, my eyebrows when my mum died and we got the bill.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but at least your family are like, you've got some well-off people.
They didn't pay for it. My dad paid for it.
Yeah, but he got like a large amount of money though, didn't he?
He didn't use it for the funeral.
Yeah, we all know what he used it
Honestly. The garden shed. The garden
great.
shed. Which, I just like to tell you, he's getting repainted for the 4th time.
Oh, of course he is. Sheds are important. You know what I mean?
That's where my inheritance is going, on shed paint.
I hope it's worth it.
It's not. I'll tell you that now.
But so yeah, the fundraising raised nearly 8 million. Pretty good. A total of 603 calls were made to 911 during that night.
But then you have to remember, there was 370 patrons, plus staff, plus people in the area,
the police.
Plus, I imagine police aren't calling 911.
Family and friends.
Family or friends will call 911. Then again, people might also repeat call.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So 600 something phone calls
not too crazy.
Isn't
it
too
just
bad.
Sounds like a crazy number
when you consider that you've got nearly 400 people in the hotel to begin with.
Nightclub. The hotel. The hotel was the
nightclub.
LA one. Yeah.
Nightclub.
Yeah,
so close. We tried.
Right. Year apart.
Doing my best.
Yeah. 24 videos of body cam police footage were eventually released because the police got proper hounded to release more of the stuff. They did try and release like a fuck-ton page thing about, the event and like why they weren't wanting to release certain things, but eventually they had to release some things, including some of the phone calls and the body cam footage.
Why?
Don't know. Just
what
to
purpose
get
does it
people
serve?
off the back. I don't know. It's to do with like free speech and like free access to media and shit in it.
But just imagine if you're an individual who gets shot and killed on a police officer's body cam, and then you've got people hounding people for your death videos.
Yeah, but ever since the internet proper started, you've had them kind of crazy websites.
No, I know.
Where it's like just people being killed on them.
No, but I don't see why that's something.
I don't say that. I don't think they're good.
No, I know. But I'm not saying you do. But I just don't understand why.
I've seen some things about people explaining why they watch that kind of thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I've seen some the Mondo movies and the what the fucking rest of them are called?
Snuff films.
Not snuff films, because they're debatable if they're actually real. Oh fuck, they're like Mondo. I forgot what they're fucking called. Like Faces of Death and Traces of Death and stuff, where you see people get killed. But I think for large majority of people that consume them kind of stuff, because I don't really consume that stuff, especially not now.
I was gonna say, thank Jesus for that.
But I think if you've been on the internet for long enough, you've seen something like that.
No.
Wow, I'm very sheltered. even if it's like something not as bad, you've probably seen something, and I think for the large amount of people, it's curiosity. I think for some people, it might be trying to come to terms with death.
Maybe.
It might just be seeing, like, you know, it might give them a sense of, like, shit, you know, life is short, kind of, like, Final Destination kind of vibe.
I've never grown curious about any about that, to be honest, because I don't know whether it was just the way I was raised, but my parents, they always said, if you're curious about something, just ask us. Because if you're old enough to ask the question and treat it seriously, then you're old enough to get an answer.
Yeah, but I think it was very much internet culture when it's, like, around the time we were in secondary school.
Maybe.
Because I don't know.
I didn't have a social circle in secondary school, so I just kept my nose down.
Yeah, but it's like, and I think a lot of people can relate. Like, when I was in secondary school and the internet really started becoming more popular, and, you know, YouTube became more popular, and other websites, specifically when there was, like, gore websites and those kind of things. The first video I can think of that I watched like that, obviously there's ones where people weren't killed, you know, like One Man, One Jar.
I heard about
Classic.
that. I think that was the only... I never watched it.
He's wanting to make a comeback, and I'm alright, don't do it.
No. I heard about it, but I never watched it. But I think that was the only...
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Vile.
Fair.
Ugh.
But I don't know whether it was just the school I went to. But from what I can remember, that was the only kind of internet kind of...
Oh no,
video that really made an appearance at my school.
Passed around, shit got passed around in my secondary school.
No.
We had 2 girls, 1 cup, you know, that was the tamer stuff. And then the first thing I remember seeing, and I think it was because someone sent it to me, was, I don't know if we've done the case, we might have done it. We have done Luca Magnotta.
Luca Magnotta. Yes! Because I want to kill a cat like Luca Magnotta.
I can't remember what the fuck of his name of his video was.
Oh my god.
But it was him killing that guy with the ice pick.
Oh
and
yeah, you said he videoed that.
I saw, the thing is, I never knew about his cat killing videos until that documentary came out that I watched, like, in my 20s.
Yeah.
But I had seen that video of him killing the guy with an ice pick that he recorded himself and uploaded himself. Yeah. I had seen that got passed around at my school when I was, like, 14, 15. So that was the first time I'd seen things like that.
Maybe it was just my school. Because...
But that is quite a normal thing.
But
if you'd be like, you know, have you seen them kind of videos, people are probably going to say, yeah.
Probably, but at the same time, like, I don't know whether it was my school, because my school was very focused, like, on academics. And I know every school is focused on academics.
Yeah.
But it's, in my school especially, it was very student-driven. So, like, most of my friends... And most of the people in my form and my year, like, I don't doubt that there was videos like that passed around. But not in my form. Definitely not in my, like, my class. Not in my social circles. Nobody that I even knew in passing really mentioned to it.
I was in top set for most things, except maths.
Yeah.
But that still got passed around.
No. None of it. But we were all so fucking busy. I was like, every single person had like 3 or 4 extracurriculars a week plus schooling.
Were poor.
No, I know.
Most of us did not.
That's what I'm curious about. Whether it was just me having a complete disinterest in it, that just people subconsciously was like, this is shit that Becky's not going to be interested in, and just skipped me, or whether it was just
also,
my social.
You've also never really been like in the YouTube scene either.
No, but most of my school weren't. Not in school, anyway.
I'd say in school it was maybe 50-50.
Maybe in the privacy of their own home they were into that kind of thing. But when you came to school, nobody talked about it.
You had, like, activities you were able to do. Yeah. You had extracurricular stuff. The rest of us...
There was, like, 27 sports you could take.
Like, in our school, maybe the odd person had a thing that they had. The rest of us were on the internet. And I think that's where the issue lies.
And the thing is, like, with school... Yes, we had access to computers.
No, but even in our spare time, we were on the internet. That's the thing.
Maybe that's
because
it. Maybe
we didn't have like the other option to do these.
As much as I hate
things.
to say it, maybe it's a little bit of a class thing because much like young people
to stay inside and
much as young people who often offend because they've got nothing else to do. Maybe social media and YouTube and deep diving the dark sides of the internet is out of sheer boredom. But people in my school didn't have fucking time for boredom. You know? There was like, when you entered my school, you have to have done like community service and volunteering to even get past the application program. So most of us were involved in like community programs and stuff. A solid 30-40% of us had music or choir.
Yeah, we didn't.
A lot of us had sports. And then that's not even getting into the academic side of things. People doing like reading competitions and stuff.
Our school was like a bit more open when it was still, because it used to be called Lindsay. And then when I was it turned into an academy in year 9 for me. And they scrapped everything like creative.
That's wild.
So like drama and everything, choir, like music things got scrapped completely. Music lessons.
I had mainstream drama and music lessons all the way up until I took my GCSEs.
Yeah, no, yeah, everything got scrapped in our school.
It wasn't until GCSEs that drama... I think drama and music were optional for GCSEs. But you'd already done it for 5 years at that point. And I know I did it all the way through GCSEs and A-levels because I especially love drama and I love acting and I love the stories and the writing and the stuff. But maybe it is just the thing of the environment I grew up in. Maybe I was just lucky to have an environment where everybody was just so busy focusing and developing skills and stuff that we didn't really have the time nor the interest.
Yeah, but I think it's good and bad because I think it's good in the fact that you missed out on...
seeing things I probably didn't need to see at that age.
1,000%. Having experiences that, looking back, were not good experiences, you know, like...
Yeah. Watching somebody die at the age of 14.
Yeah, true. That obviously was good, but I don't think my brain comprehended really what I was seeing at that point.
Quite possibly.
So it didn't... I don't feel like it, like, traumatised me.
But for me, at that point, I'd also buried quite a few family members. Like, I'd been to... What was it? 9 funerals by the time I was 15.
Yeah, but it's like also I think the early internet, I mean, it's still like there's still massive issues with the internet now.
Honestly.
But the early internet in particular was not as moderated as it is now.
No.
So the amount of grooming and shit that just happened that when you're a teenager you normalised, but then looking back you're like, it's like Omegle and Chat Roulette. I don't know if you know what those sites are.
So, fun fact. The first time I ever went on Omegle, I was 19.
Wow.
And I was at university. And I was having a study session with 2 other girls in first year, both of them Muslim girls. And they were on Omegle. And they came on to a chat where this guy was masturbating.
Just the norm.
And they just watched him.
Yeah, it was the norm.
And I was just sat there working, and they had the headphones plugged in so nobody could see it.
And
it was against the
wall.
wall.
Top up, show your tits.
Yeah, and I was just looking at it, and I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And they're like, oh, we're just watching for enjoyment. And I was like, why? But then again, also maybe because of my asexuality, like, I didn't really know what asexual was at that age.
No, but the thing is, I had those experiences, but younger, and it didn't do anything for me sexually, seeing it. It didn't. It was, for a lot of the times, if you went to a sleepover, or if you had friends around, or you went to see your friends, and you ended up on a Omegle, it was just for a laugh. But then...
We had pizza parties and watched cartoons!
Nah, not in like ones I've been to. No, but it's weird, because of then it's like, the amount of, looking back now, I'm like, what the fuck? But then... You'd be at a sleepover, but you're all underage, I want to clarify, you know,
it's
with
just
your
the
friends.
forbidden nature of it.
You see, it was just penises galore on that site, wasn't it? Let's be real. But then,
bro, I've never been back on it. After watching that one masturbation video, I was like, no, I'm done.
I maybe went on it until I was like 16. But then your friends and you'd be like, oh, let's just flash them. And you're all there, underage, flashing the people back.
I've got to say, that never happened.
That's really common.
Not in my childhood.
But then you look back and you're like, oh
what
my
the
god.
Fuck?
That's really fucked up.
But maybe, I don't know, maybe it was just... My parents were so fucking strict about my computer. I had a computer aged 11, okay? My computer was not hooked up to the internet until I was 14. And even then...
Yeah, I don't think mine was until I was like 13, 14.
But even then, my parents had, I think, a list of 20 websites that I was allowed on. And anything other than that, access denied. Access denied.
Like, there was also another like site. So there was like this like game website called Habbo Hotel.
Yes.
And
never played it, but I know it's a big grooming thing.
Yeah, but
like Club Penguin.
But kind of, yeah. But it's like, I mean, I think all websites like that, to some degree, have a bit of a darker side to them. Because, you know, you're going to get them horrible people everywhere, aren't you?
Yeah.
But it's like, I have a lot of fond memories of that game. But then looking back, I also have some memories where I'm like, that was a bit weird.
But again, I don't know, I never...
But nothing, like, you never, like, saw anything in it. But it was...
But I never had, even playing Club Penguin, like, there were so many fucking articles when it closed down about how many sexual predators and child groomers and molesters were on there.
You're just going to get them on all sites like that, aren't you?
I remember my mum was alive at this point, and I was talking to her about it, and I was like, I never had any incidents where anything like that occurred. And I think maybe it was the fact that, like, I don't know, a lot of it originates from, like, when my parents, and just the way my parents raised me. But I was not allowed to say anything personal to anybody online. I was allowed to be polite. Hi, hello, this is my pen name. You know, interact with people, like, would you like to play this game with me, if it was a multiplayer game, stuff like that. But from the get-go, like, I was never allowed to share any personal information.
Oh yeah, no,
and
that's
my parents,
kind of, like, common knowledge. True,
but there's some people, when you're children and your parents say, "Oh, don't share any personal information," like, you don't always see the harm in it.
When I first made a Facebook profile when I was like 13, 14, I'd put my address in it, and my mum went mental, and they were like, take that down, you're not supposed to put that. You didn't clarify what personal information I could put on there.
My mum, this is how deep it went, my mum made my Facebook account.
Yeah, I've always had to have my mum as a friend on it.
Honestly, and that was the first rule she said. The first rule is, I have your username and your password, and you are my friend. So if I want to go onto your account, I can get on your account. And I thought that was fair because, you know, I think I was 14 and I was really upset because lots of people were planning things on Facebook, like parties and gets together. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't a common invite to any of these things.
No.
I think the most memorable occasion, I think, was I got invited to someone's 16th birthday party. And I really enjoyed myself and I thought I looked really good. And apparently I turned up looking like a raging lesbian. I was in dark denim jeans, black boots, nice black boots, you know, not scruffy ones. A Rock is Dead t-shirt with like a broken guitar decal on it, and a vest, like a suit vest, and my little like short bob hair and a little bit of makeup. I thought I looked really good. Apparently, retrospectively, I looked like a raging lesbian, and I was like, cool. And everybody was like dressed up in like cute summer dresses, and I was like, misjudged this. But yeah, me getting invited to parties wasn't a big thing. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just an accumulation of like all of these different factors.
I don't think like that's weird because like, I've only ever been to one party and it was when I was 19.
Okay,
so
praise Jesus for that.
No.
Praise Jesus for that.
I wasn't in that scene.
I think I went to a few others, but it was one of those parties where like the whole class was invited and I was by default invited. I wasn't like an actual original thought. But maybe it's just like an accumulation of all these different factors of all of the schools I went to were really conscientious about internet safety. again, my parents were like fucking Fort Knox when it came to security online.
Yeah, probably is a bit to do with class then maybe as well. But yeah, like putting it back to like what we were talking
On this
about.
20 minutes.
But it's just like the reason that they were probably having so many people be like, you need to release some of this footage, is probably for that kind of similar thing, and why those like sites were like available and like you could still find them kind of things online now.
And also mainly to a point, maybe to try and find fault with the police. Because you know, no matter how bad a man is, how much, or woman, how much an individual has done, how many people they've hurt, there will always be people who say, oh, you should have shot him.
I suppose.
There are always people who believe that nobody should be shot for anything. Oh, he can't get justice if he's been shot. I would prefer to put people in prison, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and he was actively shooting, so...
Yeah, but I do believe that there is a point where it is blatantly clear that either that person is going to die, or more innocent people are going to die.
Yeah.
And if it comes to that decision, I will always choose to end that person's life over someone who's done absolutely nothing fucking wrong. Whether that be a civilian or a police officer.
I mean, like I said, like, they didn't release everything.
No,
they did
which I do feel is good.
Quite a bit, eventually. So on September 14th, 2016, the city of Orlando announced it would pay $4,500 to build a new fence around the Pulse nightclub. The fence will feature a I can't even say that word.
Commemorative.
Yes. Screen wrap with local artwork that would be like a memorial of the victims and the survivors. The city of Orlando also wanted to buy the club to turn it into a memorial, but the owner wouldn't sell due to having like an emotional
connection.
Yeah, to the club. Instead, he opened a separate location as a like museum memorial kind of thing for it instead.
Okay. And kept the original place a club.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe it's still open. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure. But yeah, basically Obama just basically called it an act of terror and an act of hate. So.
I mean, to be fair, it is an act of terror and an act of hate.
I think the main thing of it was like terrorism.
Yeah.
But I'm conflicted to say that it was hate crime towards LGBT people. Because it really doesn't seem like there's a lot of evidence to support that.
No, but from my perspective, I mean, like, hate of America and of...
True, but...
the countries in general, because terrorism is fueled by hate.
He picked a random location.
For sure, I feel
didn't really think too much that it was a gay club.
I feel like American club was what he was going for.
Yeah.
But it does seem strange that he hit a gay club on a Latino night to get back at terrorism in Iran.
Well, that's the thing, he probably didn't know it was a Latino night.
That's the thing, like...
So...
There's too many different demographics.
There isn't one... I mean, obviously, main motive, terrorism.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. But to call it additionally a hate crime...
there's pros and cons. I don't think there's enough either way to say either side.
Hate against Americans? Absolutely. I buy that. But not, like, homophobic behaviour.
Yeah, there is some stuff there that'd be like, oh, that does approve of it. But then
many people are homophobic without shooting up gay clubs.
Yeah, but then there's also stuff where it's like, yeah, but then there's also, like, nothing to prove that it was that, like...
No, I agree.
Well enough.
I agree.
Yeah,
it definitely feels more like an act of terrorism than a hate crime.
I'd call it just an act of terrorism.
There's definitely hate in there, but I don't think it's toward the gays.
Yeah, you know what I mean? To America, wasn't it? So.
Yeah. But that was a relatively short episode where we went on a massive tangent. If you take out our tangent,
it'll probably be like half an hour long, wouldn't it? But, you know, we fill out them episodes.
But you know what? This is what these episodes are about, though, isn't it?
We talk about important things, you know, class differences and internet safety and different people's upbringings and, yeah.
But it is interesting just to sometimes look at, like...
It did relate, also.
It does, honestly. And the fact is that kind of conversation about, like, the differences in our childhoods and the impacts they had, like, it is sometimes just nice to, like, reflect on, like, our different world points, because we do have two very different... And some things we're very similar. But from some aspects, like, our lived experience has been so different.
Yeah.
Like, it is interesting to look at that sometimes and just reflect on that.
Yeah.
Which I do like, because that is a conversation that probably wouldn't have come up in any other way.
Oh, yeah, unless we somehow ended up on some kind of
To be
topic,
fair, we've had some wild chats.
Yeah.
Alright, guys.
So, that was episode 42. Orlando Pulse Club shooting.
Yeah, it's been a good time, boys.
And we have the next episodes are Gypsy Rose, and we have Ken I've already forgotten his name, but I've already put the laptop away.
Ken.
Ken dying.
Ken died.
You'll understand when we get there. It's fine. McRoy?
Let it go.
Yeah, okay.
Let it go.
Anyway, so yeah, they'll be with you in the next, month and a half. So,
okay.
Yeah, we will see you all later. I've been Beth.
I am Becky, still.
And that is BB True Crime.
Peace out, homies. Be safe in the clubs.